everyone. Thank you for coming and tuning in to Love Mom today. Today in our What's for Dinner series, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about a funny looking vegetable that's purple, and whenever you see it, you're like, what do I do with that? Again, the natives are restless and everybody's hungry, so you got to do something, and you got to do something quick. So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about eggplant. So today we're going to make eggplant Parmesan, but with a twist. My husband always says, you're always trying to Kimerize something. My name's Kim, so that's his way of saying it. I'm always putting my own little spin on it. So today we're going to do eggplant Parmesan with a little bit of a twist. Now keep in mind, me and my husband eat a little bit differently. We eat fairly healthy. However, I don't eat meat anymore. But my husband's a carnivore, so he's got to have that meat. So stay tuned and see what we do with this funny little vegetable. Of course, we're going to peel our eggplant and slice it into these circular pieces. Try to get them as thin as you can. We're going to bread this and stick in the oven at 350 degrees for roughly 8 to 10 minutes until they are crisp. Once they're breaded, we'll work with that later. We're also going to need Parmesan cheese, some chopped onions, some marinara sauce, and some red and green bell peppers. And as you can see, I got about a half a cup of chicken over there, but we're going to talk about that later. Now in our pan, we're going to heat up a pan with a little oil in the bottom. I prefer grapeseed oil. We're going to saute our onions and red and green bell peppers. You see that nice rosemary that I've put in with the onions. That's going to make it nice and flavorful. I love the sound of the sizzle when stuff hits the pan. I'm weird that way. So we're going to saute these together. And what you're doing is you're just going to cook them for a little while and make them just a little bit tender. Not too tender, but just a little bit, so that when you put your eggplant Parmesan in the oven, you don't have to worry about it taking too long to cook, because this is already partially cooked. We're going to add our marinara sauce, mix that into the pan with your other green bell peppers and red bell peppers and onion. We're going to let that simmer for a little while, just a few minutes, and let those flavors marry each other. Just say, I do, as they're marrying. Now, our eggplant should be ready in the oven now, and you see how nice and crisp and golden brown they are. We're going to take this out of the oven, and then we're going to oil us a little pan. I use a glass pan, of course. We're going to oil us a pan just a little bit in the bottom to keep things from sticking. Again, I prefer grapeseed oil. And then we're going to layer in our toasted eggplant. Okay, so you're making your little bottom layer, and you want to try to keep them kind of close together so it's not too spread out, so you don't have any spaces. Then you're going to take your marinara mixture and put it on top, and you spread it. Make sure you get all over the corners. This is just your first layer. I'm only cooking for 2 people, and since I'm only cooking for 2, I'm only going to do 2 layers. And say, okay, so after you finish your first layer, doesn't that look good? Oh my God, that looks delicious. I wish y'all could smell this through the screen. It smells heavenly. Then you're going to do that. You're going to sprinkle your shredded Parmesan cheese on top of the first layer. You want to make sure you have Parmesan in between the layers, because you want it to taste the Parmesan. You want to taste the Parmesan. I also sprinkle a little of the low-fat mozzarella cheese because my husband likes the little stringiness. I want to get a little melt out of it. You're creating your second layer and just repeating that process. Okay. Now, this is going to be so good. Now, as we finish up the second layer, and you see I'm spreading the marinara. Now with the marinara, you don't have to be like me and make your own like I do. You can use spaghetti sauce in a jar. You can use tomato sauce. Just make sure you put some stewed tomatoes or something in it so that you can have that extra, beefiness, so to speak, extra volume with it, and make it nice and hearty. Now, as you can see, I'm taking that little half a cup of chicken and putting it on top on one side. My husband seems to feel like he has to have some kind of meat. He swears that he's going to die if he doesn't have that little extra protein. So on his side of the pan, I'm putting some chicken that I just cut off from some rotisserie chicken I bought at the grocery store. Just about a half a cup. He's going to think it's a whole lot, but it's not. And just about a half a cup. And on my side, I'm going to keep it with just the eggplant. Okay. We're going to take and sprinkle some cheese on top. I like to use, again, some low-fat mozzarella. And then also, I'm going to use some more Parmesan. So, because, of course, it's not eggplant Parmesan without Parmesan cheese, okay? So we're going to put that cheese on top and make sure we cover every corner so that we can, when it melts together and it tastes wonderful. This is going to go into the oven at 375 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes until your cheese is melted and golden brown. Look at that cheese. Oh, that's why I can't be a full vegan, because I like cheese too much. It's an addiction, I swear to God. It is. It's an addiction. Now, of course, I just told you we're putting this in the oven, 375 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes in magic of television. Oh my God, it's done. You look at it. The cheese is melted and toasty is bubbling. And there we have a beautiful meal. Doesn't that look good? There you have it, everyone. We have completed our meal for the day. And this is our second What's for Dinner video in the series. And we did something wonderful and delicious with this funny looking purple vegetable and eggplant. So as you can see, it turned out beautifully. This is my half. The half that doesn't have any meat on it. And half of it, we put a little chicken on it so my husband can feel like he really did something. Now what you don't realize is that this particular meal is extremely healthy. Because yes, we have the eggplant that we've cut and we toasted it in the oven with breadcrumbs, and then we use the Parmesan cheese. We also put a little bit of mozzarella because my husband likes the, stringiness, and so we put a little bit of mozzarella on there to give it that little melty taste. But we put low-fat mozzarella on there, and then we use that Parmesan cheese, which is better for you because it's not like one of those cheeses that really melt really quickly. So it's a little more, hard. Now with this, sometimes I might have some steamed broccoli or something like that with it. But today we had a nice little spinach salad covered with some tomatoes, and I have my trusty little balsamic vinaigrette dressing that I made myself, and my nice glass of punch. Yes, this is punch in this glass, not mine. So I'm gonna dig in and eat me some of this because I'm just as hungry as he is. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you get a minute, or if you want to, you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And thank you for watching and giving me a chance. God bless you and happy cooking. Mm.